And this one that Rod kind of came up with. Rod came up with this actually, and it was like a late game time decision, but it's a dope ass topic. We're gonna play a clip from Charles Oakley. He was on the Jim Jackson show today. I think Jim Jackson has a podcast, right? It's a podcast or a show. Jim Jackson, if you're not familiar who he is, if you're a younger guy,
Dallas
or if
guy.
you don't watch too much basketball, Dallas guy, former NBA player, been on a bunch of different teams, but we remember him from the Mavericks. Him and Jason Kidd were both knocking off Tony Braxton, if y'all remember that time. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Jim Jackson posed a question to Oakley. He basically asked him about the guard, and I was gonna read the question, but I'm just gonna actually let him tell it to y'all. Hold on. And then I got two clips actually. I want to play the first one, and then he goes on to troll another player. Here we go. Ready?
At the games, you see all the picture, and it's weird. Not a lot of former players are back on the floor at the games. You see all the picture, and it's weird not seeing not seeing Oak in the Garden. I know they lifted kind of the suspension from you not coming to, and you can attend. Two things is that one thing that you would do, and two is, and I heard you talk about this, that is there a way to repair the relationship with Dolan and management so you can be back integrated within the Knicks family as you should be?
Well, to be with the family got to love. And I started with the mom and pops. And I think the love is not there of what happened. Couldn't have been love. And, I think that when you get owners like that one in New York, it need to be addressed. Everybody should be paying attention because he's not playing fair. Even though all them guys going back, I really can't blame all them guys because I didn't really play with all of them. Right. But the ones I played with who got some power, I thought would be Patrick, but he didn't step up. So I'll hold him more responsible than anybody else because he's supposed to be our franchise player. I played with him for 10 years. At least, if I'm your road dog, I'm you A, I'm the B, you got to speak up for me. He haven't spoke up yet, so I'm going to let it just play out. I would love to be there. I know the fans would love me to be there. I love the fans. They gave me a lot of cheer over the years, and I wish I could be there. But it all started from the commission, the owner, and all the other owners of the NBA.
Now, listen, before y'all jump in, if y'all don't remember, a couple years ago, Oakley was escorted roughly out of the Garden. I think because he had a couple of words with Dolan, and you know what I mean. Security jumped on him, cops jumped on him. It was embarrassing to embarrass a Knick legend like that. Especially with the heart and soul and really just the blood, sweat, and tears of that team. The ban has been lifted. He was banned from the Garden for a while. The ban has since been lifted, but he says he's not going to come back. Last clip, then y'all get into it. Him talking a little bit more about Patrick.
What can Pat do in his situation? And I know Pat, not only playing against him, we were together when we were in Houston. He was an assistant coach down there. What can he do, or what is he not doing that's not helping the situation?
By being there. Number one. Number two, he should have called me and talked to me like a man when this happened. Never done that. I have Reggie Miller, Brad Daugherty, MJ, all the other guys I went to war with, they spoke up. But the guys I played with, but, I guess to go with his style of life, never been, like I said, he never been a guy who really, when we was down and out in the situation, in course, with a playoff game, regular season game, never stepped up. So maybe I shouldn't expect him to step up so much now.
He just did a wild drive-by.
Yo, who wanted, address this first? Jay, go ahead.
Get him, Jay.
What's yours?
Let me get into this. So there's it's a lot to unpack. So there's two sides that I wanna draw a line down the middle of the page, and I wanna talk about the first side. Oakley's right. Oakley has given a lot of his energy, his time, his life, his blood, sweat. He's got sweat equity. He deserves to be respected by the New York Knicks, by the brass, by that whole scene that took place should have never took place. That's first off. Second off, it should have been rectified immediately. There should have never been a time where it grew any type of energy or any type of there should have never been the amount of time that it's taken before this has been healed. That's the second part. Third part, yes. Anybody that played with him, i.e. Patrick Ewing and all the other supporting cast, those guys, they should have immediately stepped up and said, what the fuck is happening here, guys? Are we kidding? And there should have been an immediate call to arms. Everybody, we got to get to the table and sort this out. Like this cannot continue to fester. This cannot continue to grow. This cannot continue to be what it is at this point. The fact that no one did is a travesty. Now we dig a little bit further in and we start to kind of see the crust of what Oakley is allowed back in the Garden, but he doesn't really want to go back. And the reason he doesn't want to go back is because he doesn't feel he was supported by his brothers to begin with. He don't want to sit with these motherfuckers anymore. And I understand that. Like, y'all motherfuckers didn't support me. I don't really, I respect and want the Knicks to win because of my history and my lineage, but I don't want to break bread with y'all motherfuckers. And his main target right now is Patrick Ewing, because Patrick Ewing is one of the biggest Knicks that you'll ever see. Probably, maybe the biggest Knick that you'll ever see. Pause. You know what I'm saying? As far as like just homegrown and done a lot for the franchise. Me and Rock kind of talked a little bit about that earlier today. Even deeper than that, Patrick Ewing, with his cachet and with his clout, he should have been able to make a decision to say, this shit stops here, or I don't fucking come back. And that's the way it should have really played out. Now, go down to the other side of the paper real quick before I go. Oakley firing little bullshit shots like that, that's locker room shit that you keep. If you didn't say that about him when y'all played, for it to come out 20 years later, 25 years later, or whatever amount of years it is later, for you to say that he wasn't a good locker room guy or a good locker room leader, I don't know that needs to come out now because you're emotionally scarred or frustrated by the lack of support of Patrick Ewing, who should have been number one, and maybe the rest of your brethren, as far as saying, hey, listen, what the fuck is going on here? Oak is a fucking staple. He did so much for the franchise. He should be allowed not only to be in the Garden, but he should have a fucking title in that in as far as with the Knicks. He should be an ambassador, just like Starks, just like fucking Ewing, just like any
Allen
of those
Houston.
guys.
Allen Houston got a title.
Houston, all these guys. Oakley should have a title of something. Maybe it's just community affairs. I don't know, but he absolutely he
food
should.
And beverages, like Frank Rossi.
Food and beverages.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean
That's
to
casino.
talk over you.
That's casino you're talking about, right?
No, that's funny. It's funny. It's great. But I'm like, say that to Oakley. Then they go break them.
No, thank you.
Then they gonna break them fucking bus windows on your fucking head. Tell Oakley he should be craft services. That nigga fucking
That's crazy.
that nigga smash them shits right on your motherfucking melon. But what I'm saying to you is, with that being said, I'll step aside, and I just think that he had, like, one, he wasn't handled appropriately, and two, now that he is reinstated, I think airing out certain things and saying certain things about a guy that you went to war with, rubbed elbows with, was side by side with, and now you're saying he wasn't a good leader and he didn't put the, like, secretly, like, dry snitching and dropping that bullshit. It's sucker shit on the low to me. What y'all think?
I agree.
That sucker shit.
Q,
I agree. That was yeah. Go ahead, Q. Get him.
He'll turn that fucking fisherman hat into a condom. Pull that shit down over your body.
I've been around him a little bit. He seemed like he wants smoke. Go ahead.
I agree. Because when we met him, he just looks like
he look like
shit. Like
he's with it,
ice grilling and all that shit. You know what I mean?
Looks vicious.
He got a chip on his shoulder.
With it.
Yeah.
And I think so because saying all that stuff right now, obviously he needs to be in the building. But there's other people, like, he must feel a real certain way about Pat. He probably feels like Pat should have got them to the promised land and he didn't. You know what I mean? Because Allen Houston has a job with the Knicks and he ain't talking no shady shit to him. That nigga should have went to Dolan and been like, yo, bro, let my man come to a game, B. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like now he's just doing all this right now, and you know, he's taking these shots because he feels a certain way. Like he's letting out he getting a little too emotional. You know what I mean? Showing that's like some lady side stuff. You know what I mean? But he feels like probably Patrick Ewing didn't get him to the promised land. And you know, like you shouldn't be talking about your brothers like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like how you said, Jay, you know, you went to war and shit. Like, shouldn't be mentioning stuff like that. Why can't you just call them like, yo, man, why you didn't call me? Like, yo, keep it on a brotherly level. You know what I mean? Not say, yo, homie didn't hold the team down. He kind of did keep it a buck. He just didn't get us to where we needed to be because we thought he was the player on that team to do it. He was.
I think that's just being bitter because Pat didn't go to Dolan and say, yo, you can't do this stuff.
It's what it is.
To Oak, you know what I'm saying? Like Michael Jordan had to go do it. You know, Michael he mentioned someone else, Jordan or someone else. You know what I mean? But I think it's bitterness, and I think he's just lashing out a little bit. I know, L, you wanted to jump in this? Pause.
Nah, I just wanted to say, like, like you said, I think he's just a little bitter. I mean, he always seems like he got a fucking chip on his shoulder. He's always seemed like that.
Big 6'9" mother. I was looking at that nigga, I'll knock you the fuck out.
I seen a comment. Somebody said that nigga looked like Bart Simpson. That nigga does look like Bart Simpson.
Yeah, this is me TV.
That nigga is fucking shit. I don't know what's up with that nigga's hairdo now. That nigga looking crazy out here.
Shout out to Oak, man. Nah, I wasn't gonna knock Oak out.
Tony's right in front of you.
Oak, don't beat me up, please.
But yeah, man, I don't know why nobody came to bat for him, man. Like, and that's the problem. That's why he's probably hurt, man. Like, you got all of these guys he used to play with. His like Starks there. All of these guys that went to war with him, and nobody was able to say, like, come on, if Oak's not here, we not here. Yeah, man, I feel you, Oak.
I think
they just started bringing the Knicks back,
Mason was
though.
alive, he would have.
This is kind of a new thing, right? Who you seen? I seen Kurt Thomas the other day, right?
Everyone was there.
JR's
Tim Thomas,
there.
Kurt Thomas.
Tim Thomas, Steph, you know, the
Latrell.
regulars. Latrell. I see Marcus Camby like a
Starks.
couple weeks ago. Like, that's like a new thing. He's starting to bring everyone back, and it's cool to see that. Chris Childs is there. Shout out to Chris Childs, a friend of the show.
Felton.
Yeah, Yeah, Raymond
Felton was there too.
Yeah. So, but like, not J.R. Smith, not the J.R. Smith was wearing a Carmelo jersey too. That was bugged out. But
all the playoff Knicks now have that role. They have like a alumni role. And listen, although listen, this is no slight to Oakley. Although I feel where Oakley's coming from, I feel like Oakley's issue was with Dolan. And I feel like Dolan countered that because prior to the Oakley issue, the player that we always saw at the game, the one player that was always there, more than you saw Patrick Ewing, more than you saw Starks, the one player that was always courtside, not even always courtside, just in that little area, was Charles Oakley. He was, I'm coming back to the Knicks game, he was that guy. He was the staple of, if you're going to see any Knicks player at any game, and I'm talking about through the dog years, like when the Knicks sucked.
Yes,
like,
I'm glad you said that. Yes.
not we're back to the Knicks is in the playoffs.
You're right.
But the Knicks are playing. Charles Oakley was there. And now that the Knicks have relevancy again, to not see Charles Oakley there has to make Charles feel some way. But behind the scene, I think two things are happening that we're not looking into. Dolan looked bad when that shit made Dolan look bad. You know, with the way Charles Oakley got pulled out of it made Dolan look crazy. Now, since then, Dolan has taken a bit of a backseat, so he's not as you're right, front face. You know, Leon Rose and everybody's running the organization, and you leave it up to Dolan. He says he tried to reach out, or he'll do what he has to do to kind of fix it. But we know that didn't really happen because if it did, Oakley would have had to say, yeah, he called or what have you. Since then, however, though, I think that there may be a bit of a bag that has been offered to the rest of the Knick alumni, so that Dolan doesn't look like and again, this may be in my conspiracy theory back, but since the Knicks have been relevant, right? Now you see come on, Kurt Thomas, freaking like Raymond Felton on the floor. Chris Childs been there 25 years. Yeah,
today.
Allen Houston's had a job in the organization, so I can't say that about the AQ. Yeah. But I know for a while Patrick Ewing wasn't even fucking with the Knicks. He was fucking with Orlando for a bit. Yeah. And then now Patrick Ewing is at every game, and now that the Knicks are in the playoffs, you see Stephon Marbury lives in China. He's at every fucking game, bro. Like, front row. You know what I'm saying? Carmelo Anthony. Y'all chased Carmelo Anthony the fuck up out of New York. Yeah. Y'all chased him out of here. Yeah. Carmelo Anthony, front row. This whole shit. Y'all traded J.R. Smith. We don't need him. That nigga wore two other niggas. He wore a Lakers ring and a Cavs ring and rubbed that on Brunson's arm just so he can say, oh, this is what the rings feel like, but I'm a New Yorker. Yo, there's a lot of like, you know, so I look at it and I understand what Oakley's saying. The only thing I guess I kind of agree with Jay and he's a sucker too. So I don't like agreeing with Jay, but the only thing I got, I got agree with Jay is,
T.I. fucked your first baby mother instead of.
I only got one baby mother.
What the nigga 50 said? T.I. fucked your first. Why fuck?
Why with me? Nah, I think it's kind of whack that he used this moment to kind of throw shots at people that he might actually have a grievance with. Like, you got a grievance with Ewing, and you say Ewing didn't reach out to you like a man. You reach out to Ewing like a man, because by you doing this on a podcast, that's not fly shit to me. Whole shit. But that's kind of like weak. You know what I'm saying? If you got an issue, what is Ewing gonna do other than he expects everybody to not go to the game? Why not? You know what I'm saying? Like, why wouldn't we take whatever the incentive is? Hey guys, free front row to be good for our brand. It'll be good for this. You guys are former Knicks. Whatever else you're doing, that bag, I'm taking that bag. Why not? You know what I'm saying? I'm not the one who got into the argument, and who's to say that none of these guys didn't say anything? It's just they didn't say we're not going to go to the games if Ewing isn't there. That's what Oakley is looking for. He's looking for a united stand where it's like,
right,
we can't get the rest of these guys. First and foremost, I'll be honest with you. None of those Knicks got us anywhere. I'm glad it's dope to see him there, right? But if Dolan said, they all took a stand and said, we're not coming to the games, and he filled those row seats with other stars, nobody would be having this conversation. So it still wouldn't be a win for Oakley. It would just make Oakley feel better. It looks dope because there are the players there, but not for nothing.
The Mets do it.
The Mets do it. LA, the Lakers have been doing that without players, just by putting stars there. You know what I'm saying? We're going to put stars in our front where New York has had the same caveat. You got Ben Stiller. You got Homeboy from Dune. You got Tracy Morgan. You got there's a plethora of stars that New York put. Chris Rock, Spike
in the juke suit.
It's not like they actually need an alumni role, but because of the loyalists of us,
let's talk about Spike.
They are all coming back because we are winning. That's a whole fact, though.
I don't want to see Spike.